Today I'll be talking about pubic lice between Nebraska and Texas. Pubic lice or crab louse are a type of insect that survive on the host. Unlike other types of parasites, they live by getting nourishment from like other types of insects, they live by getting nourishment from the individual they happen to infect. However, they're different from other types of parasites that live inside the body, such as tapeworms and roundworms. Instead, they live in the pubic hair and feed on blood. According to CDC, they take about three weeks to mature into adult form by the time they hatch. These lice may be found in any thicker body hair, but are more common in the pubic hair region. Pubic lice can be quite elusive and hard to notice, so they usually blend into the hair. In some rare cases, they may even infect the eyebrows, but not head hair. There are various ways in which someone can get pubic lice. The main cause of infection is through sexual contact. The intimate contact may allow the lice to spread from one person to another, usually through the pubic hair. However, there are more ways than one that it can be spread. Like other parasites such as bed bugs, someone can get infected by lice that are on soft surfaces such as beds and blankets. However, this is quite uncommon, as pubic lice are unable to survive for very long, which is about 2 days. Symptoms of infection of pubic lice may have different signs depending on the case and severity. Often they may cause itching and redness in the affected area due to the irritation the insects induce on the skin. Since the lice feed on the blood of the humans they're on, there could also be dark colored spots from where they had been, and there could be red streaks spreading out from the bite zones. In some cases where the skin has been broken, an infection may occur also. A few people that are unfortunate to have to deal with these pests do not display the symptoms always, so it can become harder to know if they have them. Treatment for pubic lice involves multiple options. Usually, a physician is needed to diagnose crabs, as self-diagnosis might not be effective because multiple things can cause an itchy rash, such as an allergic reaction. Depending on the severity of the infestation, different treatments should be considered. According to Texas Department of State Health Services, there are various lotions or shampoos that can be used to kill the lice, although sometimes someone will need a prescription to obtain them. Pyrethrin and piperenol butoxide shampoo is one of the primary treatments for one that is infected with crabs. For the most effective treatment of this shampoo, it should be used once every 1 to 10 days. 7 to 10 days. One popular method of treating this lice is to shave the pubic region. The reason behind this is that without the hair to latch onto, it can become harder for the lice to stay on the person. Although these lice do not carry diseases and will not make someone sick or die, most likely, there is very much an unsightly inconvenience that could lead to a damper on someone's sex life until dealt with. And anyone that has pubic lice should definitely tell whoever they have been sleeping with to make sure they can get checked out. They're usually transmitted through sexual interaction, so one option of prevention could be abstinence, especially if they know they have it. They need to stay abstinent until the lice are dealt with to make sure it's not spread. And also, a person should regularly groom themselves to reduce chance of exposure and to spot them early to receive treatment. Proper steps are needed to prevent pubic lice. All cloth materials such as bedding, clothes, and towels should be washed in water that is at least 130 degrees Fahrenheit and dried under high heat to kill any possible lice present. Crab louse is believed to be a parasite on track to possible extinction, according to Sexually Transmitted Diseases in 2015. In the past, it has been more common to keep pubic hair at its natural length, and grooming wasn't much of a priority. However, as more people are beginning to trim and shave pubic hair, the population of lice has begun to decline, and as a result, only about 2% of the world's population has it. Despite this, there is conflicting evidence that populations are increasing due to pesticide resistance. Crab louse are much more of an inconvenience than a problem. Although they are unsightly and irritating, they do not pose a health risk, such as other STDs, such as AIDS or HIV might. Also, they are relatively easy to treat and fast to treat, about 2 weeks. Genital lice overall are easier to treat than other STDs, maybe. When it comes to people having sex, there's always obviously going to be some kind of risk involved. It is important to take the right precautions when participating in sexual activities, as one of the best treatments for a problem is to prevent it in the first place. Overall, I didn't really find much difference between the treatments of pubic lice between Nebraska and Texas, because pubic lice generally only occurs in regions that have poor sanitation, and neither of those states really have that problem. So it's more of a preventive measure, and both states have preventive measures such as sanitation and making sure that you go to the doctor and you get checked, and the shampoos. So overall, lice should be easy to deal with in some way, in most ways, for the most part.